Hi, my name is Tyler, and I'm a selfie-holic.
Hi, Tyler.
3 days ago, I posted a shameless mirror selfie. You know the kind.
Like where you don't even try to hide the phone?
Yeah, as you can see, I didn't even take the time to turn the flash off.
Been there. Me too.
Beth, how are you doing with those poses?
What poses?
It's something that'll change the world and human life as we know it.
He knows. He's seen the light.
When Monty talks, it's painful.
Monty, you have been so instrumental in kind of pointing me in the right direction.
It was about looking at your character defects in spirituality.
It's the integration of clinical practices with the 12 steps.
It's an absolute pleasure. He certainly knows a lot of people. He's got a lot of energy. And sometimes when you don't have so much energy, he picks you up and carries you.
Having the Monty man there certainly helps.
This is one of the places that is about the business of the solution.
The views expressed on this special broadcast of the Take 12 radio show do not necessarily reflect those of KHLT Recovery Broadcasting or its affiliates. KHLT is not affiliated with any particular 12-step fellowship.
Now here's that guy who's getting less popular minute by minute. Your host, the Monty Man.
That's right. You better believe it, my friends. The more the things change, the more they remain the same, right? I mean, and the more you tell the truth, the more people are offended, because the truth offends. It just does. The good book says that God is a rock that makes men stumble and a stone that makes men fall. You're either going to stumble into his arms or you're going to fall all over yourself. But you will recognize that the truth is the truth, and it can set you free. Welcome to another broadcast of Take12Radio.com on your internet dial, broadcasting from the studios of KHLT Recovery Broadcasting on the outskirts of beautiful downtown Albany, Oregon. I'm glad you're joining us today. It is always an honor to have you on. This is about you. It really is. It's not about me, although some would say that I think it is, and my behavior probably shows that I think it is sometimes, because I am selfish and self-centered and self-seeking. It is the root of all my problems, but we're working on that on a one-day-at-a-time basis. Welcome to Take 12 Radio. My gollies, it is so hot here today, and I'm not a great, I don't do heat real well. And for us Oregonians, heat is like the enemy. So we're wading through this thing, but hey, what can I say? As long as we're sucking air, we're doing good, right? Hey, listen, I got a beef. I really do. Before we talk to you about today's guest, and by the way, this show, just so you know, this show is, for the most part, commercial free, because I'm committing this show to introducing you to something that I really believe in, and we're going to be playing the audio promo specifically for what we're going to be talking about today on this show. But before we get into all that, I've got a beef. I do. Once again, prices have gone up. I just got back from the grocery store and bought myself some coffee. I'm not going to tell you what brand it is because they're not paying us to advertise, but it's a popular brand. It's very popular amongst 12-steppers. It comes in a red container, I'll say that. And I got it home. It was on sale. This was the sale price, $7.98. I got it on sale, and I got it home, and I thought, this seems like it shrunk. So I pull out the other container, the one that's empty, and I put it next to it, and sure enough, it's gone from, and I'm going to say this for all you drug addicts out there, it's gone from 961 grams to 788 grams. See, a drug addict can appreciate that, right? For all you normies, that's 2 pounds, 1.9 ounces down to 1 pound, 11.8 ounces. But it's the same price. What is up with that? Gee, willikers. Well, I'm going to tell you something. I got a real treat for you today because we're going to be talking about something that's only 99 cents a year, and it could save your life. That's right. It could save your life. We're going to be talking about an app. An app. Is there an app for that? There's an app for this. You better believe it. My guest this week on Interview Friday is Will Cummins. And he's going to be talking to us about Sober Chat, the Sober Chat app. You guys, this is a long time waiting. There's been apps out there. There's been recovery apps out there, but nothing quite like this. And Take 12 Radio is proud to kind of shimmy up to the table with these guys and help promote this thing because it is so needed. But listen, before we get into that, this part of the show is sponsored by Therapy Addiction Healing Center in the Red Rock country of Utah. Men and women and their families experience tremendous pain and suffering due to the struggles they face from substance abuse and its co-occurring mental health challenges. You know it, and I know it. And they need to find a safe place for peace and healing. Well, Therapy Addiction Healing Center was born out of a deep desire to provide that safe and powerful healing environment. I want you to visit therapia.net. This is a place that treats the whole person. Meaningful relationships with God, self, and others. therapia.net is their web address. And also Serenity Springs Recovery Center. These guys, Jim Marshall Jr., Jimmy, and Jim Sr., and Joe Adavai, and all the gang out at Serenity Springs in beautiful Edgewater, Florida, just have a tremendous facility out there. Their ratio client to staff is 1-to-2. So you don't get lost in the shuffle. Go to SerenitySpringsRecovery.com and check them out. They're our sponsors for this show today. Oh, okay. So you're bebopping along, through life, and everything goes up in price. Candy bars, movie tickets, coffee. And for the addict and alcoholic in recovery, coffee is a staple for so many of us. But I got some great news. I got a guest on right now. He's waiting to talk to us. Will Cummins. He and some folks have put together an app called Sober Chat, and it's only 99 cents a year. I'm still blown away by that. But Will is on the phone with me right now. Will, welcome to Take 12 Radio, my friend.
Hey, Monty. Thanks for having me.
You bet, brother. Now, you were born in Cheyenne, Wyoming. Is it hot there this time of year in Wyoming?
I have no idea. I've traveled through there once on a hitchhiking trip when I was about 18. It was the springtime. I remember calling my mom and saying, there's a tumbleweed rolling down the middle of the main street in town. What were you guys doing here? And she said, well, apparently we were making babies.
Oh, okay.
My parents were stationed in the Air Force there, so my older brother and I were both born there.
Okay, so you were an Air Force child. You guys did you guys travel around a lot?
No, right after that, they both did their tour and got out of the Air Force, and we all moved to California, where my grandparents were. My grandfather was in the plumbing business, and that's what my father planned to do.
Right,
with the plumbing business. So,
well, you didn't have a whole lot of luck with early education, did you? You got booted out of school.
I got booted out of school. I did pretty well in school up until junior high. And junior high, after the family, my dad left, parents divorced, and I started getting into quite a bit of trouble. I wasn't really a criminal, but they labeled me as incorrigible. And part of my issue was that my mom was an activist, and she raised me with a strong sense of justice, and I was having sit-ins, forming sit-ins and rallies in high school to protest things like the length of guys' hair and women not being able to wear pants and that kind of stuff. And I just was causing trouble all the time. And they finally booted me out of the school district.
That's hilarious. I was the head of the reelect the president campaign for President Nixon when I was in high school, and I was the activist combating all the anti-war activists that were sitting on American flags eating their lunch. and of course, neither side knew what we were doing. We just knew that it was a lot of fun and we were getting out of class, right?
Right. Yeah, mine was just a raise. I was rebelling. I was.
Oh yeah.
The family had broken apart, and what I know today is that I was just in a lot of fear. And so I was rebelling and trying to show off and trying to get the attention that I wasn't getting at home. And so I did it by raising Cain at school.
Yeah, yeah. Now, you've never been married. You have no kids yourself, true?
True.
Yeah. So, and that's kind of a blessing, though, isn't it? Because you don't have a wake of destruction in your path that involves an ex or a wife or children. No,
I have none of that in the past.
Yeah, yeah. See, we have something in common there. I'm married and have kids now, but most of my stuff happened before that. So I was very fortunate not to drag some people through the mud that could have been dragged through the mud. So that's a blessing. So you currently live in Palm Springs now.
I do now. Yeah.
Yeah.
I came to Palm Springs. I came over from Phoenix. I was based with the airline that I work for currently in Phoenix, and I moved over to this part of California to help my grandmother out for a while, and then she moved back to Phoenix, and when she left here, I came to Palm Springs, so I love it here.
So you're a flight attendant?
I have been for 25 years, yeah.
Wow.
Great job.
Yeah, you like it, huh? I mean, have you ever run into any of those crazy folks?
Well, I love it, but I spent my years, I had some rebellious years there, too, when I was using and drinking there, and fighting management because they weren't doing things the way I thought they should do things. And, nothing changed when I was using or drinking. I wanted to fight everyone and everything. So, I had some bad years there, but I've been there 25 years. They put up with me. I didn't get fired. And, now that I've come out on the other side of that and I've got the sobriety, I love my job. I mean, it affords me great benefits, good money, and flexible working hours, and a lot of travel. So I love it.
Ever run into any passengers that were difficult?
Yeah, it usually revolves around drinking.
Imagine that.
Yeah, no kidding.
Oh man. Well, one of these days I'll tell the story about Airplane George. And I'll just tickle the listeners with that. I'll tell you about it off the air. Airplane George was one of those guys. Okay, so you definitely have a career of substance abuse, and we talk a lot about on this show about the real deal versus the person who's the alcohol or drug abuser. You're a person that has lived with the allergy of the body and the obsession of the mind. Is that correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
For a long, long time.
Yeah, that powerlessness that is much more destructive than just the person who just needs to grow up, right? They don't need to have a spiritual awakening or any of that kind of stuff. They just go to a few meetings and grow up and they're okay. That isn't you and me, is it?
That's not me. Definitely not me.
So what happened, man? I mean, you walked into the doors of a 12-step support meeting and got going on recovery, or did you go to treatment? What happened?
Well, I walked in and out for several years. If I go way back, the first substance I used to stuff my feelings way back when was probably sugar, and that evolved into coffee and then alcohol and then drugs and then the drugs were whatever the drug of the day was, and the drinking just was kind of a sideline to that until my last 5-year relapse. It started in about 2004 with some prescription medication, and I had sat in the rooms of Alcoholics Anonymous before that and listened to people talk about the progression of alcoholism, and I had no idea what they were talking about because my alcoholism hadn't progressed at that point. But it wasn't very long after I went back out there that things started progressing very fast. I started drinking, cocktails in fancy glasses and ended up with bottles of vodka in my closet kind of deal. So it definitely progressed, and I got to where I was drinking every day and blacking out every day. So
yeah. And but you sound pretty doggone healthy today, brother.
Well, I feel really good. It's been an amazing couple of years, 2.5 years now.
Yeah.
And, part of the story is that, I definitely suffered from a spiritual malady, just like the book says, and I had always been searching for that. And I had such a profound experience this last time in a rehab center here in Palm Springs that, it was almost the burning bush experience. I walked in and told them to stop all medication, and within a couple of days I was walking around with a big book, and I was in this place with so many kids. These kids they're going from their parents' medicine cabinet right to heroin, and it just was really profound for me, because there I was at age 53, my second time through rehab, and I would sit in these meetings and I would say, you don't have to do this. You really don't have to do this. You don't have to do this at age 53. You can get this now. You definitely are here because you have a problem. So believe it when they say things. Not like I didn't believe that alcoholism was progressive.
Right.
Believe it when they say it. Read the book.
Yeah. Yeah, check it out for yourself. You bet.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to take our first break, and we're going to give the listeners their first peek at what this is all about. When we come back, I want you to expand on this wonderful app called Sober Chat. And listeners, I want you to understand this app is not currently available. Now, this is broadcasting on a Friday, July 18th. So you might be listening to this at a later date, either in the archives or perhaps later on in the week. This will be rebroadcast again on a live stream on the 25th of July on the Bill Post Radio Network. So you may not be listening to this on this day that it is originally broadcasting. So I want you to understand that the promos you're hearing now are for a future release date of Sober Chat, but it does give you the website address. You can go to the web address and you can pre-register. You can give them your email address. They'll let you know when the app is coming out. So we're going to expound on that a little bit more when we come back from our first break. So don't go away. More with Will Cummins, and we're going to be talking about the Sober Chat app when we return. Hey, you! Yeah, you! The power of sharing recovery is at your fingertips. Introducing Sober Chat, the app that saves lives. Sober Chat is the first ever location-sensitive mobile chat application designed to instantly connect people who share the common goal of staying sober. Sober Chat revitalizes and revolutionizes 12-stepping as we know it. At any time of the day or night, you can simply log on and help someone by making phone contact, taking someone to a meeting for coffee, or chat via text messaging on the Sober Chat mobile app. To register now for your download of the Sober Chat app, visit SoberChatApp.com. Sober Chat is not a replacement for attending 12-step meetings, sponsorship, or working the 12 steps.
There I was in my business suit, all dressed up, just uptight as I could possibly be. And I don't remember much of what was said at that first AA meeting. It was more the feeling of the meeting itself.
That's what has kept me going. I know it works, and I see the people ahead of me with more sobriety. I see how happy they are, and I want that. I want that too.
And what I notice about AA is it sort of helps me to relax and learn to really be happy with my sobriety. It's a richer life to live.
That's exactly what Alcoholics Anonymous does. It teaches us how to live without drinking. It teaches us how to have fun and really enjoy life without drinking.
This program's given me the good life. The only good life I've ever known.
Alcoholics Anonymous. It works. Look us up. Check your phone book, newspaper, or AA.org.
Well, I love a rainy night. I love a rainy night. I love to hear the thunder, watch the lightning when it lights.
All right, welcome back. Welcome back. Eddie Rabbit. Eddie Rabbit. What a name, huh? Can you imagine a last name of Rabbit? But yeah, what can I say? Love the rainy nights, and we certainly have been through a few of those in our drinking using careers and in our recovery. Will Cummins is my guest. Will, would you say that you're the founder, co-founder? What is your position with Sober Chat?
I'm a co-founder. It was an idea that came to me on one of my layovers with the airline last year, and I brought it home. But the second I brought it home and talked to my good buddies in recovery, literally since the day we started talking about this idea, Monty, I have never come across anyone that's had anything but, a great comment. And it goes anywhere from, oh, what a great idea, to, oh, my God, that is an amazing idea. So nobody has ever had a negative comment to say about the idea itself. And once I came home with it and we started talking about it, it wasn't too long before we had a little bit of money in the bank and had hired a developer to get going on this deal. So it's just one of those things that everything started falling into place. But yeah, there's a team of us that have put this thing together.
So when we're talking about people being on the road is being a really big benefit for people that travel, whether they do business trips, whether they are circuit speakers for their 12-step support organization, or whether they just vacation a lot, or whatever it is they do that puts them in a place that is away from home. You're speaking from experience because you fly all over the country, right?
Right, and there's meetings all over the country, and sometimes you can get to them, and sometimes you can't.
Right.
Sometimes it's not the time of day matters. Sometimes your location matters. This particular time, I was in an airport hotel in Philadelphia. And, usually around airports, there's not too many things going on. There's not a city environment. And so there just wasn't a realistic way for me to get to a meeting. And when I picked up my phone, I thought, I ought to be able to chat with other alcoholics that are in the area, people that are close by, so that if I really needed to get, face-to-face with somebody, I could say, hey, there's a Denny's down there. Can you meet me for a cup of coffee? That's the connection that I think we all need at certain times. It's okay to talk on the phone. It's okay to be online and be on an online meeting. All of those things are good. Every tool we can have, I think, is helpful. But this one puts you in touch with other people that are close by that that are there if you need them.
Okay, so walk us through the mechanics of this thing. We know that there have been similar apps out there. They've kind of come and gone. There are ones that, and I want people to understand that because the word chat in this doesn't mean this is a social networking chat application per se. This isn't where you get on there with a bunch of your buddies and you talk about your day and the political flavor of what's up and what's not. This is specifically for really meeting one-on-one with somebody for support, right?
Well, that's the big hope. Yes, that's what we hope happens. I mean, we don't really have any way of knowing what's going to happen once we launch this thing. I mean, people are going to go on there, and I've had a lot of experience. People tell me that all kinds of different things can happen, and we're going to have to watch things pretty closely. But the idea is, yes, you go on there, and there's so many different ways that this can be helpful. You could be isolated. You could be somebody that may not want to share something in a meeting environment in public like that, but you may be willing to talk with another addict alcoholic in a text situation and say what you need to say. Get the truth out and talk to another recovering person. So, yeah, that's the idea. The idea is to connect with other people, and and here's the other thing, Monty. If you're getting ready to travel to another city, you should be able to go on there, punch in that city or zip code, and then chat with a few of those people that are already in that city and say, hey, where's the good meeting, and this is where we're going to be staying, and would you like to meet for coffee or dinner or whatever, and set up a little network for yourself before you even get there.
Right, because we probably all experience, those of us who do any traveling at all, have experienced the not so successful hotlines.
Yes.
You call up, then nobody's answering the beeper, or you get a recording, or you get an attitude.
I will say that I don't think there's never a bad AA meeting, but I've certainly looked up meetings online and through the phone lines and things, and then ended up at a meeting where there was nobody there, or there was one other person there, or whatever. And this way, you can actually talk to people that know the area and know the meetings and know the times, and you can get a feel for what you can plan your recovery before you get there.
Yeah, that's great, because I've done that. I've gone and I've called up the hotline and say, hey, look, I'm really kind of. I mean, I know we shouldn't be picky, but hey, we're human beings. Especially if you're in a major metropolitan city, you know just by common sense there's probably a good number of meetings there, but maybe you're not into a big crowd that night. Maybe you just kind of want maybe a small gathering, and you call up the hotline and they're like, well, I don't really know, I'm not from this area, and blah blah blah.
Right.
Or maybe you're looking for one of the meetings. Like, for instance, there are some meetings that are intentionally not listed because of celebrity status. There are meetings in Los Angeles called the musicians meetings. They don't list those. There's a reason for that, but now you can hook up with people with Sober Chat. You'll be able to hook up with somebody. Well, yeah, I go to the musicians meeting on Sunday night down in L.A.
Right.
Here's where it's at.
Right. Well, the other thing is, if you begin chatting with some of these people, I mean, who's to say? We had coined a little phrase called flash meetings. These flash mob things that you've seen online, where people just spontaneously start singing and dancing or whatever. That's how that idea came to us, and it basically, if you get 5 or 6 people together and you find a place, then you've got a meeting. You've got a meeting, and we're hoping that those happen spontaneously, because I don't know about you, but I love meetings. I need meetings, and so wherever I go and whatever I do, I want to make sure that meeting with other people in recovery is part of that experience. Period.
Now, some of my regular listeners are going. This last Tuesday, Monty, didn't you just talk about meetings? Don't keep you sober, and they're scratching their head right now, and they're going, well, which is it? Well, we're not saying that meetings by themselves are what's going to do the deal if you're the real deal, because they won't. I mean, a lot of people go to meetings and they never get restored to sanity, because that's all they do is they sit in a chair.
Yeah.
And the whole idea behind Sober Chat, of course, is to lead you in a direction where you can do more. I mean, it's not just, if you're going to do that, you can just go to the newspaper and look up your local AA listing. I mean, so this is more.
I think our name says it all. I mean, I don't care if it's in a meeting or a one-on-one setting or over the radio or whatever it is. People that are struggling with addictions and alcoholism, my personal belief is that they need to talk about it.
Right.
All there is to it, and it doesn't matter where that happens. But we want that to be able to happen 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, if you need it.
Yeah, yeah. So, okay, so let's walk through this. I download the app on my phone.
Right.
I pull into Palm Springs, because I live up here in Oregon, and I click on my app, and it pops up.
Right.
What's it going to do?
It's going to populate. The screen is going to populate with all of the people, starting with you're going to be the first person that pops up, and then next to your picture is going to be the person that's closest to you that's also logged on to Sober Chat. And it will go right through the list, and then you'll be able to scroll up the screen, and the distance is infinite. So it will just show you the 20 or 30 closest people to you on that screen.
Okay, so what's it mean, location sensitive? What's that mean?
Location sensitive means that when you log on, it's not populated with people that are logged on all over the country. Of course, they're on there too, but the people that you see on the screen are the people that are in your vicinity.
And
that's the location sensitive. That's our niche. I mean, there's a lot of other places that you can get a meeting online or go into a chat room for addicts and alcoholics online, but you're chatting with people that are scattered throughout the country or even the world, which is okay too. I'm not saying that's not a good thing to do. Every
right.
people we can get, but ours presents the opportunity that if you need a face-to-face with somebody, if you need a ride to a meeting, or if you need to meet for coffee or whatever it is you need, you can ask for help on this app. And to turn that table around, if you're somebody with some time and you just have a strong desire to help others, then you can go on there and we have a feature on there where somebody that needs some help can red flag their picture on this screen. And if you see a red flag and you got some time and you're willing to help somebody out, you hit them up and ask them what's going on and what you can do to help. And then it's your decision as to what you do from there. Are you willing to meet for coffee? Are you willing to take a phone call? Are you willing to take somebody to a meeting? What are you willing to do? That's a personal decision.
Right.
But this gives you the opportunity that, the people that are on that screen are in your vicinity.
Very good, very good. Okay, when we come back from this second promo, let's talk about some of the different goodies this thing is going to have on it, and some of the attributes that it's going to carry, so people know that it's not just another. I push a button and then I can call somebody on the phone. I mean, because anybody could do that, right? We can call somebody on the phone. But let's talk about some more of the characteristics of this app. Don't go away, my friends. More with Will Cummins, Sober Chat, the app that saves lives. When addicts and alcoholics are feeling isolated, disconnected, and alone, they are most likely to relapse. If they are traveling, it's the middle of the night, or they are unable to realistically connect with their support system. They need to be able to reach out to someone that can help them now. Sober Chat is the mobile app that provides a way out from that awful aloneness. Visit SoberChatApp.com and let's continue to celebrate those wonderful sobriety birthdays.
He's a little crazy, but then again, you already knew that.
I got in like 3 fights when I was in grade school. All 3 of them were with the bully. We all know who they are. They're always a little bit bigger, they kind of smelly, and we duke it out. And after he beat the snot out of me, I'd say, "You come back tomorrow and I'll give you more of that."
It's the Bill Post Radio Show. Bill Post Radio Show. Weekdays at noon.
That old black magic has me in its spell.
Mm-hmm.
That old black magic.
Well, there's a guy who could have used the Sober Chat app right there. Frank probably could have used it a few times. Okay, we're speaking with Will Cummins. He is the co-founder of Sober Chat. This is an application that you can put on your smartphone or your tablet, and when you're traveling and you're out of the area, you can instantly hook up with people that are in the vicinity of where you're at. And talk to them. You can text them. You can reach out and with the hand of recovery to somebody that's hurting. You can be available, and or you can tap into some help if you need some help. So, okay, is this going to work like with your phone to where it will access your camera?
That's not in the chat feed. Well, yeah, yes and no. When you build a profile for yourself, there's a place for a picture. Now, we realize that some people are still attached to their anonymity, and we honor that. And so, if you don't want to use a picture of yourself, it will default to the Sober Chat logo. But you could also put a picture of your dog. Or a picture of yourself.
Yeah.
I happen to not really. I don't announce that I'm in recovery, but I certainly, I don't have any problem putting my picture on there. So yeah, we started this whole thing, Monty, with the idea that we needed to keep it as simple as possible from the beginning, and then our business plan all along has been to launch it in a simple form, see what people think, and then start listening to our users to find out what they would like to on there. I mean, we can add, if you go to any of the other sobriety apps, there's all kinds of things that you can add. We can add meeting lists and sobriety calendars and all that stuff. We have an idea to add a mascot that will announce birthdays and that kind of stuff. But you know, apps they're complicated and expensive, and they're intense to put together. And none of us had any experience in that, so we've been kind of winging it here just a little bit and relying on the people that we've hired to build this thing to kind of guide us through this process. But right from the beginning, we thought we need to keep this simple. You download the app, you fill in a registration, you get your confirmation email, you build a short profile, and you log on and you instantly connect with other people. After that, you know, who knows what's going to happen. That's what we're really kind of anxious to find out, is what's going to be the miracle of this app. How are people going to use it, and what's it going to provide for people that isn't provided out there right now?
So if I go on the app, is it going to buzz somebody, even if they're not logged on, to let them know that somebody is logged on in my area? I mean, you know,
well,
how's that work?
Yeah, it's gonna have notifications just like any of your other apps, that you'll be able to go into your app under your notification settings. I don't know about Android version. I have an iPhone myself, but so I go into my notifications and my settings, and I decide which apps I want notifications from. And then if I have that notifications tab on for that particular app, yes, if somebody messages me on that app, I get a notification. And that way, you know, I know that somebody's tried to reach me through Soap Chat or whatever other app I'm talking about.
Right. Okay, so if I'm in trouble and I can't get a hold of anybody, I can red flag myself, and then when somebody comes on, they can see that and they can buzz me up.
Well, I'm really hoping that would never happen, Monty, simply for the fact that there will always be people populated on the app.
Right.
And this is something where even if there's not people within a mile to you, there's certainly going to be some people within 3 or 4 or 5 or 10 or 15 or 20 miles. So that the app itself will always be populated with the closest people, whether they're a mile away from you or 100 miles away from you.
Oh, good.
So you'll never, there'll always be somebody there. That's the whole idea, is that there's always somebody there.
So, okay, you brought up a good point. You said you didn't know about Android. Is this app going to be? Is this going to work with Android and iPhones?
Yes. I just don't know how the settings work on an Android platform.
Okay.
But yeah, we're going to have both platforms. Those two platforms should launch at exactly the same time. We're looking at within the next 90 days or so.
Because if it's not an Apple product, then it automatically has Android technology like Samsung and that kind of thing. Isn't that the case?
Well, for the most part, but now I guess there's a Windows platform as well, which
that's right.
Take a look at down the road. So,
Right. So people,
but right now to work on iPhones, Androids, your iPads, and whatever your Android tablet is.
And your computer. I mean, if you're at home on your desktop, it'll probably work too, right?
That's a question I can't answer for you. I don't think so. I don't think you'll be able to populate the screen with people on your computer. It's strictly, the platform is strictly for mobile devices.
Okay, I got you.
Right now.
Right. Okay, so this thing, and I want the listeners to understand that one of the reasons that we're doing this, and I'm not going to make any apologies for it, is we want to help raise funds for the Sober Chat project, because this stuff is expensive, and it doesn't 99 cents a year. It just boggles my mind. I mean, that is just so awesome. You know, I'm sitting here. Go ahead. What were you saying?
The idea behind that has always been the symbolic dollar in the basket in an AA meeting. You know, and then
right.
We decided if people use the app, they ought to be willing to put that dollar in every year. So
yeah, just once a year.
That's where that came from. And then down the road, as people tell us what they would like to see on the app, we'll add some of those other things on, and some of them will cost extra money, just like every other app out there, and some of them won't. And we'll have some, if we get some good traffic numbers going, then it's our understanding that some advertisers will start approaching us for some advertising space. So, there's all kinds of opportunities down the road, but right now that's the main revenue source right there.
Yeah, you bet. Okay, so listen, listeners, I'm going to address you for a second. I don't think there's anybody out there that's been we've been broadcasting for over 10 years now, and I don't think out of the enormous amount of folks that tune into this show that there's very many of you that haven't been in a situation, or at the very least of somebody who's been in a situation where they have felt very much alone. They're in a strange place, they're in a strange town. Maybe they're in their hometown, but they just don't want to go to the meeting. They'd rather just talk to somebody, and maybe they don't want to talk to somebody they know. Maybe they want to talk to somebody they don't know, but is local. This will grant you the opportunity, or them the opportunity, to do that. I mean, one of the biggest reasons people, particularly if they're new in recovery, relapse is because of they don't know how to deal with pride and humility, and I mean all that stuff. That's all a journey. That's a spiritual journey, and sometimes it's really difficult to take that first step to call the person you know, or to walk back into the meeting after a relapse. But man, if you can bring that up on your phone and say, look, I don't know you, you don't know me, but I know you're on this app and I'm on this app, and I got to talk to somebody.
There it is.
There it is. There.
That's it right there in a nutshell. And Monty, I don't think that we really know how many people are out there suffering that cannot get in their car and go to an AA meeting. That just is not even in there. They just can't do it, and they can't pick up the phone and talk over the phone with somebody else because they don't know who that would be. But anybody can log onto an app like this and talk with anybody else, and maybe, just maybe, we avert the crisis. That's the big hope right there.
Right. You bet, and that whatever it takes. I mean, I had a buddy who he was addicted to adrenaline. He would steal narcotics from the dealers that had guns, and then he'd run through people's neighborhoods with these people hot on his heels just to get a high off the adrenaline. He would approach a house not knowing if the front door was unlocked or not, run through the house, stop and grab something off the dinner table of a family he never met before, run out the back door like something out of Ferris Bueller's Day Off. And so his dad would pray, God, whatever it takes, even if it means breaking his ankles, whatever it takes to stop him. And so then it happened. Like 2 weeks later, he fell and broke his ankles, and it was the beginning of the end of his adrenaline junkie behavior and the beginning of his recovery. But here's something that can help stop the insanity that doesn't require breaking your ankles. It's 99 cents a year. I mean, that is just incredible to me. I'm just so tickled to death by what you guys are doing. Now, folks, I want you to listen to this last promo. If you haven't heard anything in the other promos, I want you to listen to this. Check this out.
Last year, I went with my dad on a business trip to the other side of the country. I'll never forget the look of hopelessness in his eyes when he realized there were no 12-step meetings in the area. You see, my dad was an alcoholic, and he really needed a drink that day. With today's technology, I can't help but think that there must have been a way for people like my dad to get help when they can't find a meeting.
Well, now there is. Introducing Sober Chat, the first location-sensitive mobile chat application designed to instantly connect people with the common goal to stay sober. For only 99 cents a year, you can download Sober Chat to your smart device or phone, or better yet, give it as the gift of life to someone you love. Visit SoberChatApp.com and register today.
Maybe if my dad could have spoken with another alcoholic that night, it wouldn't be just me and my mom now.
Yeah, that kills me.
Yeah. And it's so true. It's
well, there is.
so
There's
true.
stories out there just like that. So, it's heartbreaking.
And here's the thing. Maybe somebody listening out there has no desire to put this app on their phone. That's fine. But we're not saying the price of a cup of coffee a month, a day. We're saying 99 cents a year. Can you imagine the gift that you're giving somebody else to have that on their phone? That is like the biggest stocking stuffer I could even think of for Christmas. I mean, wow. What an incredible gift to have. Can you imagine what an awesome present to give your brand new sponsee?
Exactly.
When he gets his 24-hour chip, and you give him the code to download Sober Chat. Wow. Yeah. What an awesome thing. And so I just can't encourage this enough. All right, so let's talk about what people can do to help raise awareness and raise funds for this thing, because this thing is, now we did say 99 cents for the app itself, but you guys are in the process of raising money so you can make this the best and most efficient app that you can. Tell people what they can do.
Well, quickly, what happened to us, Monty, is that we built this app and we got it kind of in its simplest form, and then we discovered that there were some issues with it. So the developer we were using kind of fell apart. So we grabbed our source codes and we took it to another developer and had them analyze the codes. And what we found out is that the bones of the app were there, but it needed some polishing and optimizing and that kind of stuff. So we've done that. In that process, we've learned a lot in this last year trying to put this thing together. And the bottom line is you don't want to launch an application that people have problems with right from the beginning. It can be simple. It doesn't have to have a lot of bells and whistles, but it needs to work really well and provide what you're telling the people that you're providing. So in order to do that, we've identified some more simple additions and some other issues that need to be included in this app prior to launch. And that's why we're raising funds on the Indiegogo campaign right now, is to provide the funds to get that going, and then to also market the app and provide the operating costs for the interim period until we start generating our own revenue. And that's, who knows how long that's going to take. It's all word of mouth, and it's all people like you spreading the word, and thank you for that. So we'll see how it goes. But in the beginning here, we need some help to get this thing up and running and get it out there and get it launched.
So listeners, here is the web address. Now you can go to the link on Friday's page here. You can also go to the link on our main page at take12radio.com. So if you're listening on the Bill Post Radio Network right now, go to take12radio.com on the very front page. About 3/4 down. You cannot miss it. I promise you. It's the biggest banner on our page, other than our header banner. If you click on that, it is going to take you to the Indiegogo fundraising website. Excuse me. You can watch the video on our page, or you can go to the website and watch it there. Excuse me. The web address is igg.me/@/soberchat. Okay, igg.me/@/soberchat. That's where you can go if you would like to donate to help these guys raise the funds to make this the best and most efficient sober app on the internet. And then you can listen to the audio presentation. You can read more in detail about this application. You can also go to soberchatapp.com, and you can click on the link that'll take you to Indiegogo, to the campaign, and you can give them your email address, so you will be notified as soon as this app is ready to launch, so you can be one of the first people to get that on your smart device. We encourage you to do this, and listen, word of mouth is powerful. It's powerful, it's effective, it's the most effective form of advertisement and promotion. Now, you and I know, listeners, if you're in a 12-step fellowship, it's our public relations policy that's based on attraction, not promotion. Not our personal stories, and not the professions that we do, not the ministries we're in, not the 12-step based philosophies and programs and things like that we're involved in. It's our public relations policy. This is not that. So you can promote this until the cows come home. I want you to join me in this. I want you, whenever I put it on our Facebook, I want you to share it with as many people as you can. I want you to click the like button as many times as you can. I want you to go to Sober Chat's Facebook and do the same thing. Listen, the fact is, 1 in 50 people will give it a second look the first time. The second time, a little bit more. The third time, a little bit more. We got to keep promoting. We have to keep talking about this. You can't just announce it once and believe that people's, their ears are going to perk up. You have to talk about it a lot. This is an application that can save a life. And it isn't going to take hardly any effort on your part to click like. My goodness, folks, you click like every time somebody asks you to, and you don't even look at their webpage. Right, Will?
That's right. I couldn't say it any better. I'm enthusiastic about this idea, Monty, but you got me beat by a mile, man. I appreciate it.
You bet. Well, when I get passionate about something, it's hard to shut me up. So, folks, you need to do this. I mean, this is. I'm trying to put a sense and urgency into your minds, my friends, because, listen, addiction is the #1 health crisis in our world over every other health issue. #1. And recovery from it gets the least amount of attention because of stigma. Help break stigma.
Right, that's right.
Yeah, get involved in this thing.
Yeah, and our thing is break the stigma and start talking about it. Let's just talk about it. That's how we recover, is we talk about it. So we're 5-6 days into our campaign right now, and we've got 6% raise. So we really need your help out there. Yeah, folks, they really, really do. Listen, if you can't help financially, you can open your mouth. All right, you can do that. And one of the things I'm gonna do, Will, is and we'll actually this is a pre-recorded taping, so before this actually airs. So, folks, when you're listening to this now, you'll be able to do this. There'll be a PDF. A link on Friday's page, and we're going to put it on our main page too. And if you click on that, you can download the flyer. I'm going to make a flyer, and we're going to put it up so you can hand this thing out that gives the information on how people can go and donate, how they can register, and all that good stuff. Listen, I know that it's a rule out there that you're not supposed to hand out flyers and that kind of thing at your 12-step meetings, but you can do it before the meeting. You can do it at the smoke break if you have one. You can do it after the meeting. You can do it in your church foyer. You can do it down at the Drug and Alcohol Treatment Center. You can do that. So we'll make that flyer available for you, courtesy of Take 12 Radio. You can print it out, and we'll make it black and white, so you don't have to worry about color, using up your color ink. And you can print those out and hand those out. Please get on the bandwagon with us with Sober Chat app. Will, is there anything that I've missed here so far? We're going to be talking to you more as the weeks go on. Anything you'd like to share with those? No, I would just dovetail on what you were just saying there. We honor the 12 traditions ourselves. I mean, we're not promoting this in meetings, and we're not a replacement. You say this in your promos. We're not a replacement for 12-step meetings or sponsorship or working the 12 steps. We all work them, and that's what works. So this is an additional tool, and we're just hoping that our payoff will come the day somebody walks up and says, that app, it really helped me out or saved my life even. That's the big hope. So Thanks for all your promotion, Monty. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Yeah. God bless you, man. Stay on the line, Will. I'm going to talk to you off the air. Folks, remember our email address, take12radio@comcast.net. Please visit soberchatapp.com, and there you can attach yourself to the Indiegogo fundraising campaign for this. You can also follow the links here at take12radio.com on your internet dial. And remember, we got shows all week long. We got workshops. We got recovery music, recovery TV. We got so much stuff because I'm so manic. I can't help it. I can't help myself. Hey, it's either that or go on to the bitter end, right? Until our next broadcast, this is the Monty Man, along with my guest this week, Will Cummins. We're wishing God's perfect serenity for you, my friends, for you. Bye-bye now.
This has been a broadcast of KHLT Recovery Broadcasting.
Kitty, 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 kitty. Meow. Addiction is the #1 health threat in our world today. It affects more people than any other malady, and yet the solution to this health crisis gets the least amount of attention. May I introduce to you a media outlet that's doing something about that? KHLT Recovery Broadcasting, home of the Take 12 Recovery radio shows, is the world's only faith-based radio station broadcasting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, with the solution to the addiction problem. Visit take12radio.com for recovery talk and positive music, and be ready to be set free from a seemingly hopeless state of mind and body. That's take12radio.com on your internet dial.